Show. Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm your
This is 2K Sports broadcasting from Portland, Oregon, as the Trailblazers take it to the hardwood. I'm Kevin Harlan, joined by the talented analyst tandem of Greg Anthony and Chris Webber. David Aldridge is on our sideline. Looking at San Antonio, they took the win in their last game against Phoenix. It was just a textbook performance. That game was all theirs. Once they got it going, it was full speed ahead.
And once they established that flow offensively, really never got any resistance from the D.
And I feel like the defense was one step behind all night. I mean, they never made the adjustments to string together a few stops.
And a look at the starters for San Antonio. Aldridge is at the 4 with Gasol at the 5. Manu is at the 2 with Leonard playing the 3. And it's Parker in at the 1. And there's the call on Ginobili. That is his first foul of the game. And tonight, the matchup at the center position is certain to draw attention. Not something we say every night because the bigs don't seem to be stressed. But tonight, Chris, that is a factor.
Thank God big guys are back in the game. Kevin, you know, I got this opinion that there's a conspiracy against the big guys. I mean, hey, big guys played in this basketball. You guys remember a guy by the name of Mikan? He was pretty big. So, yeah, tonight we have a great center matchup. Can't wait to watch this.
Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Well, Terry Stotts and I got a chance to talk for a bit. He said the big thing is we cannot play hero ball. We've got to be unselfish and trust our offense. We'll see if they can turn the tables around and even up this season series, Kevin. Back to you.
That's great, David. Thanks. They've got their hands full against a team that plays such tough D.
And that's why you got to be flexible in terms of your game plan, particularly on the offensive end. They might have to try a few different approaches till they find one that works.
So, Greg, I think the best approach is a solid motion offense, a lot of back cuts, ball movement side to side. Against a team with this kind of defense, good movement is always the key to breaking them down.
And that's sort of a picture of what not to do on those last two possessions. They're being way too loose with the ball.
Yeah, and it doesn't take a whole lot of effort for Gasol to dunk it home. At 7 feet tall, he uses his height to power home those jams.
Napier dishes to Harkless. And the foul called on Kawhi Leonard. That is his first foul of the game. Leonard brings the double team. And a wide open look for McCollum. That 3 off the mark.
And they had some botched coverage that turned into no coverage.
Oh, you see that?
Yeah, the assist by Parker, just brilliant. Really seeing his teammates out there.
The Trailblazers have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. McCollum with the screen on Parker. Nurkic setting the pick for McCollum. Here's Vonleh. And it's sent back by Aldridge.
Opening up 1 for 4 is definitely not the ideal start they were hoping for.
The lead pushed to double digits. Parker's got his first basket.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum. Defensively, giving up far too many open rhythm looks.
Trailblazers trail by 12. And Damian Lillard said he's committed to finishing his career in Portland, title or not. He's invested in this franchise.
Well, team first, that helps all the players buy in. And new additions have to fall in line with the example he set. He said the culture won't change because he won't allow it to happen.
The Spurs shooting their first free throw of the night. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Kyle Anderson, he's checked in for Aldridge. Gay comes in for Kawhi Leonard. Danny Green, he's checked in for Manu Ginobili. And it's Mills in for Tony Parker. That free throw good from Gasol.
And over the years, Gasol has proven himself to be a valuable teammate. Someone guys love to be around. A guy that plays well with just about anybody.
So timeout called here, the first for Portland. They are coming off that win against Atlanta.
And how about the points they put up? I mean, they were aggressive. In fact, at times overwhelming.
Well, think about this. They were extremely versatile in their approach, taking what the defense allowed.
And the Spurs making a change here. Burns checked in. Here's Mills. It doesn't go for him. And it's Portland the other way. Will it go? And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Yeah, and C.J. McCollum mostly plays at that off-guard spot with the Blazers, but on a lot of teams, you could see him as the lead guard. I mean, 6'3" in height, and his handles are elite.
McCollum is a natural leader, a strong guy both in the locker room and on the court, a guy you want to build around.
And C.J. McCollum can step into that point guard role very comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, he keeps it on a string going right or left. A terrific ball handler. Calling him a secondary ball handler is almost not doing him justice.
McCollum is a sniper from the mid-range area on the floor. Always got to know where he is on the court.
Shots good by Laverne.
Oh, this is the kind of start they were hoping for.
Now here's Turner. He picked up 12 points in their last win against Atlanta. Turner with the screen. Feeds it to McCollum. Good on the triple. McCollum's got 6.
You got to know McCollum has an itchy trigger finger. As soon as the ball comes to him, he's ready to pull it.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Trailblazers will take it.
No clue where that pass was going. That is a brutal turnover.
Trailblazers trail by 11. 51 seconds left to play in the first quarter. And Turner kicks to McCollum. 6 to shoot. He tries for 3. The Blazers keep it going. A new 24-second shot clock. Spurs leading by 11. Gay drives in. Here's Laverne. And Laverne throws it down.
Yeah, pounding it inside once again. They have taken over this game physically.
Right off the opening tip, they've been relentless. And this style of play can be hard to come back against.
And Turner kicks to Aminu. Davis sets a screen. Aminu against Gay. The 3 from McCollum buries the long-range jumper. McCollum's got his 3rd bucket of the night. Here's Laverne. Portland grabs the miss. They faced off right here last time they met, but the home club just couldn't pull out the win.
And their defense practically non-existent in that one. Just gave up far too many easy shots.
Well, their opponents ran some pretty good sets, too. I mean, let's be honest, creating some nice open looks.
And a double-digit lead on the scoreboard as we end the first quarter of play. Spurs lead by 10. From Portland, we're back in a moment. Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start this second quarter. And so it's San Antonio with it. The biggest lead of the game, 15 points. And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. On the court right now for the Spurs, Murray and Green team up to make the backcourt. Then there's Rudy Gay, and there's Laverne, and it's Bertans in at the power forward position. Davis sets a screen, and the officials will call the illegal screen right there. Now with this break in the action, let's see which players have had the hot hand lately. Here are the top scorers in the past month. C.J. McCollum, 3rd.
What a performance offensively. Something has really clicked with his game over this stretch.
Here's Aminu, and count it. He'll head to the line with a chance to make it 3.
Yeah, exceptional play there to take the bump and still get it to fall.
And Al-Farouq Aminu, one of the league's great value contracts, signed through 2019 for around $7 million a season.
Yeah, and in this era, starting players command twice that at least. That helps with ballooning payroll. I mean, and Aminu's happy. Getting consistent minutes in court.
McCollum, no good.
A defender nowhere near him, and he still can't hit it. He wants that one back.
Shot from 12, and the jumper is on the mark. McCollum's got 11 points.
Love the game of McCollum. Not just great at dribbling the ball, but terrific at pulling up on the defense.
Bertans can't get it to go.
Hey, look, that's what they want. The ball is in his hands in the post. Just didn't have the touch that time.
And I love the momentum he's building. Last game, he was just as dominant.
And defensively, you know he's feeling good right now. And as the opposing team, you better adjust your scheme accordingly.
Gay with the block.
And Gay has put a ton of work into his defense over the years. Specifically, it's how he times blocking those shots.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Trailblazers will take it. Just a moment to look back at how things were last season for this team as we look at the shot breakdown for the Trailblazers.
And they concentrated a lot on creating open looks from beyond the arc. Player movement, finding space on the perimeter, that was their #1 priority.
Shabazz Napier's checked in for Swanigan.
And guys, that's a big swing right there. I mean, taking the steal and then turning it into 2 easy points on the dunk.
No telling how important that sequence could turn out to be.
Yeah, and he reads it all the way, has that slide court awareness you have to be mindful of.
And the foul called on Danny Green. That is his first foul of the game for the Trailblazers. Nurkic checked in for Davis. Noah Vonleh comes in for Al-Farouq Aminu. And Maurice Harkless subbed in for Turner. Then for the Spurs, Pau Gasol is checked in for Davis Bertans. Ginobili comes in for Green. And Tony Parker is subbed in for Murray. Parker left side. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Here's Gasol, and 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. It's going to be on Jusuf Nurkic.
And Gasol is a master at utilizing his strength inside, forcing the defense to become physical with him whenever he has the ball in deep.
And good on the second, so he makes them both. And we hear so much about this being the era of point guards, but you look at the crop of small forwards in the league today, wow, what a lineup. And talk about versatility. There are a lot of good ones out there.
Yeah, the NBA has changed a lot. The 2 guard used to be the most athletic position when you think about it with the Jordans, the Clyde Drexlers, other guys, but it's really changed. And really look at the size. Kevin Durant, you know, I was always amazed. I'm a power forward at 6'9". He's 2 inches taller than me, and he can play the point guard. So the game is evolving when you look at Kevin Durant, LeBron, Kawhi Leonard, Antetokounmpo, Jimmy Butler, those type of guys. When you want to talk about versatility, playing both ends of the floor and being able to score and get buckets, these guys come to mind.
All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Thanks, Kevin. Hey, the Portland Trailblazers are developing a great chemistry for a young team. Damian Lillard takes the team to San Diego every September for bonding purposes, and he told me how much we like each other, how much time we spend around each other. That shows you a team that is really together. It is a unit. We have each other's back. Kevin?
And it's critical to establish camaraderie early on. Thank you, D.A. Sounds like Lillard has this team headed in the right direction. Aldridge, the pass to Ginobili. Shoots over Nurkic. They grab their own miss. Here's Aldridge, and he banks in the layup. Aldridge has got 8.
And without looking at the scoreboard, you think they were the team trailing and trying to fight their way back.
Napier dishes to McCollum. Here's Vonleh. That falls. Nice feed that time from McCollum. San Antonio leading by 6. Parker kicks to Leonard. He can't get it to go. Great D that time from Nurkic. Harkless on the wing. Dishes it to Napier. Kicks it to Vonleh from about 19 feet, but he stays with it. A 3-ball. And it's Napier missing. Spurs shooting has been beyond great up until now. How about 57% from the field overall? The Trailblazers have gone 6 of 12 in the second quarter, right at the 50% mark from the field. To the middle. Here's McCollum. Great pass to set up the lay-in. 17 points in the game.
And McCollum gets his shot off from anywhere, even down in the paint. He doesn't rush it.
They grab their own miss. Here's Gasol. Oh, he misses the dunk.
And you're just not going to see him do that very often. Usually when he rises up, there's a guarantee it's going down.
Snatched up. Vonleh. And it's sent back by Aldridge.
He keeps battling, but so far this quarter, he hasn't been able to get it going.
Ginobili. That's good.
Yeah, getting theirs before the defense can set up.
Now, that's just the aggressiveness of transition, making sure they come away with points.
And now the fast break, Ginobili with the ball. Lays it up off the glass. And it's an 8-point Spurs lead.
They lean on him for a big portion of their scoring with a good reason.
McCollum. And so it's San Antonio holding on to an 8-point lead heading into the break. They're shooting the ball so well in this one. A great performance from the field. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave. Thanks so much, Dave, for the great interview. Don't go away, folks. We'll be back for the second half of basketball right after.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the halftime show on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson here with Kenny. Some excellent work early from Pau Gasol. He had 11 points and 1 block. And Shaq, what are your thoughts on how San Antonio played?
Well, they really dictated the pace of the game with their transition game. They got out on the break every.
And that wraps up the halftime show.
The second half just about to get going. Spurs leading by 8. McCollum at the 2 with Harkless playing the 3. Nurkic is out there with Van. And it's Napier in at the point. So that's who Terry Stotts starts the second half with. Leonard brings the double team. Leonard with the steal. And now it's Leonard running. Here we go. All the way. And finished off by Leonard.
And busting it up the floor. Leonard showing a lot of energy on the fast break. If there's one thing he doesn't lack, it's hustle.
And the call will be against Tony Parker. That'll be his second foul of the game. Here's McCollum. 17 points in the game. Stolen by Ginobili.
He leaped into the lane as soon as that ball was thrown and came up with the steal. Excellent work on D there.
Agile play to get his hand in there and get the steal. Intelligent play to immediately start the break.
Trailblazers trail by 12. Here's McCollum. Here's Nurkic. Nice work on the board. He's paying off with the basket.
Defensive rebounding, just such a crucial part of the game.
I tell you what, it's like football, having a 3rd and 13 and them running up the gut. It just frustrates the defense. You have to hate giving up second chance points. It's demoralizing. After basically, I mean, you had to stop.
The Spurs have yet to miss from the free throw line. They're 3 for 3. And Chris, so many of us involved with the NBA, either as broadcasters or players, had a moment where they just knew that this was the game for us. Did you ever have that moment? And if so, Chris, when did you fall in love with the game of basketball?
Wow, that's a great question, Kev. You know what? I have so many signature moments in my life that continually made me fall in love. I don't know if there's just one. You know, I remember, for instance, Isaiah Thomas, after he won the All-Star game, I believe it was like 86, 87, and after he had his mom come up and his mom did the interview with him, and I was there with my mom, and I remember thinking to myself, man, that would be a cool moment. Or watching Magic Johnson hoist up a championship because he was from Michigan and I had followed his career the whole time, and so watching him win a championship. Or how about those great Magic Johnson, Larry Bird commercials back when they got out of the limo and were looking at each other, you know, that type of stuff. So, man, so many great moments, man. I can't pick one, but there's so many great moments.
Great moments indeed. Turner with the steal. And it's the Trailblazers on the break. And there's the call on Ginobili. That'll be his second foul of the game. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Laverne, he's checked in for Gasol. Davis Bertans comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. Rudy Gay's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. And it's DeJounte Murray in for Tony Parker.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Oh, well, that's because it was terrific anticipation. Also, the quick hands, a lethal combination.
Green, he's checked in for Manu Ginobili. And that's a foul called on Davis Bertans. That's foul number 2 for him.
And now only one away from being in the penalty.
On the wing, Turner. He's covered by Murray. There's a screen. Jumper off the screen. And the shot is good, dropping in off the front of the rim. Turner's got his second basket.
Well, Turner has a reliable mid-range shot. This is where he likes to operate. He looks comfortable shooting from here. Now, that's how you protect the rim. Stand your ground and make him alter his release.
Ed Davis out of North Carolina, the 10th pick back in the 2010 draft.
Yeah, now 6'10", a little undersized for the center position, but he finds a way to get it done. A strong rebounder, and he knows how to finish at the rim.
Aminu with it. Gay picks him up defensively. Goes up to the stripe. And there's the foul. It'll go on Ed Davis. That's foul number 2 for him. And some changes here for the Spurs. Anderson comes in for Davis Bertans. And it's Mills in for Danny Green. Back to Mills. The Spurs working the ball around now. And it's Laverne missing.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Yeah, he has that capacity. He knows exactly where to position himself to protect the rim.
The Trailblazers shooting their 4th and 5th attempts at the free throw line tonight.
And I think this is a strength of this team. Solid numbers at the line across the board, 77% collectively.
And both free throws good for Napier.
Well, Terry Stotts now in his 6th season as head coach in Portland. I mean, he's been a head coach for a handful of seasons elsewhere, but this is by far his longest run with a single team.
There's 1:40 left in the 3rd quarter of the game. That one goes in.
The floater's a tough shot, even when you're that close to the bucket.
Here's Laverne. That one's off, still out of sync. And by all accounts, Terry Stotts doing a great job with the Blazers.
But this team has chemistry and a defined style of play. The new players love him. I mean, Stotts himself seems really happy in Portland. It's been a great match.
And really pushing the tempo. Fast break buckets, a big factor for them offensively.
Davis sets a screen. Here's Swanigan. San Antonio with the rebound. At one point, they led by 16. After this one, they're off to Sacramento to take on the Kings. That matchup falls in the middle game of this 3-game trip. Here's Laverne, and Davis sends it back.
If they play it right, we're talking a 2-for-1.
Exactly, but you still want a decent look because if you miss, the strategy doesn't help.
That one falls.
Nice work to get in position for the rebound and the putback. He has no off switch.
Anderson can't get it to go. Trailblazers trail by 8. Napier kicks to Aminu. The rebound by the Spurs. Laverne's got his 3rd rebound on the night. Here's Anderson, and he floats in for the easy 2. Credit the assist on that one.
If you let him get that deep, this is what you can expect.
Yeah, well, with his toughness and skills in there, it's a rough problem to fix.
There's the pick. Davis sets a screen. Here's Napier. Can't capitalize on the good screen. He knocks it down, but wait a minute. The officials are getting together. They may want to review this one. And not so fast. The officials are going to check that shot again and make sure they got it right before we go to the 4th.
Yeah, and at this point in the game, you know, some might say, hey, can't we just skip the replay this time around? But you just never know.
And they're keeping the call as is. It was close, but he had not released it before the clock had expired.
Yeah, still better safe than sorry. I think they did the right thing to take another look at it. And if it's so close that you can't tell by the naked eye, might as well go to the slow-mo.
And so it's the San Antonio Spurs going into the break with a 10-point lead. They've dictated the pace, pushed the ball at every chance, and it's paying off for them. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. And now a sneak peek into the huddle with Greg Popovich.
Nobody holds the ball, not even 1,001. You catch it, it's a shot, it's a drive or pass, whatever you got.
Specific instructions from Greg Popovich. If you don't have a clean look, don't have an open lane, move the ball.
Yeah, and the key is fast decision-making, and that takes great recognition from all 5 guys in terms of communication. That's really what we call chemistry.
3 quarters in the books, folks. Glad to have you with us. Welcome back as we get going. On the floor for San Antonio, starting the 4th quarter. Anderson is out there with Kawhi Leonard. Then it's Tony Parker. Then it's Mills. And it's Aldridge in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. McCollum kicks to Harkless. And the foul called on Kawhi Leonard. That's foul number 2 for him. Pau Gasol is checked in for the Spurs. Ginobili comes in for Patty Mills. Here's McCollum. And he didn't get quite enough under that one.
The defense is doing just enough to bother him on the jump.
And Nurkic has it in the corner. Takes the 13-footer. Gasol with the rebound. Spurs leading by 12. Here's Aldridge. And the dunk by Aldridge.
Oh, taking it to the rack with power.
And hammering down the two-hand slam. Trailblazers have gone 0 of 3 to start the fourth quarter. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
Time called here. The Blazers decide to talk it over. And Chris, the team you spent the most time with in your career, the Sacramento Kings, what was it like playing in a smaller market? And do you think that's changed for star players today?
You know, I love playing for the city of Sacramento and the fans. Because we were a small market, I think we had some of the most passionate fans that I've ever seen in the NBA. But it was also tough, especially playing on the West Coast. You're the second of the late game on the East Coast. Many people don't see you. You don't have necessarily the support of everyone else because you're not in the largest city. So it definitely could be tough. But when you're playing a team like the Lakers or you're playing other Goliaths, you love it and you embrace that small David-type aspect. And so I do think it's changed because of social media. I do think it's changed because of the internet and specifically the apps that you can now go into the locker room before and after the game. You can get a guy's thoughts right after he made a big shot or missed a big shot. And so I think if you would have had those tools, maybe it'll be different. But I think now definitely it really doesn't matter what market you play in. I mean, we were a small market at that time, but look, since it's been the OKCs and other teams that kind of have made everybody excited about basketball. So I don't think market plays that big of a part as far as your exposure and how much fans get to see you anymore.
Good overview. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Hi, Kevin. Well, Terry Stotts just went over his game plan with his team. He is not pleased, and he told them they have to make a push right now. He said, look, we got to make a move or I've got to pull the plug. Pretty blunt stuff, Kevin. Back to you.
McCollum passes to Nurkic. Now here's Vonleh. Aldridge is covering. The shot by Vonleh no good. Spurs leading by 16. It's Aldridge penetrating. That one goes in. Aldridge has got 10 points now just in this quarter.
And that pattern continues, guys. Another heat check, another log on the fire.
Oh, I know this feeling. They're in that special zone where you feel untouchable. They haven't missed in a while.
Good on the bucket.
Oh, and when McCullough's got it going, you got to keep getting him the rock. An incredible player who continues to get better.
And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. Chris, if you were on the rules committee, what rule change would you like to see the NBA make going forward?
Kevin, there's not a rule I necessarily have changed, but I'd ask them to kind of reinterpret a couple of rules, and that goes with the flagrant foul. I often see so many plays that are just hard fouls called as flagrant fouls, and that can affect not only a player and later on whether it's a flagrant 2, but it can affect the game. It can affect the next game by how it's interpreted by a player being kicked out because of that. And so I just want to take the sensitivity or put the toughness back into that. So many flagrant fouls are called and they're not going at the head or they're chopping down on the wrist. And I just like to see it get back to be interpreted as it was a little while ago, maybe 20, 25 years ago.
Nurkic against Gasol. And that's going to be a travel.
And they're just playing fast and loose. Sometimes that'll burn you.
Like right here, you have to value each possession, especially when you're behind.
So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Kyle Anderson, he's checked in for Aldridge. Bertans comes in for Kawhi Leonard. Danny Green, he's checked in for Manu Ginobili. And it's Mills in for Tony Parker.
Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it. Just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for the Spurs.
You know, a team can have a great shooting night without getting a lot of assists, but tonight they had both.
Yeah, and listen, you only get the assist if the guy you give it to makes the shot. So a lot of assists will up your field goal percentage, but this is a great team effort by everyone.
And so now on the year, they'll have 35 wins to their credit.
And they've taken control of the season series. This brings them to 2-0 with 1 game left against this squad.
And you know, looking back at all the contributions tonight, it was a really phenomenal all-around game for Aldridge.
Well, the best work he did came on the boards. Nobody could match his intensity. His rebounding played a big role in this win.
Here's Napier. Down to 5 on the shot clock. There's the pick. The offensive rebound. It's deflected. They recover it. Pass to Swanigan. It's a 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. And that one's good from Connaughton.
With the double coming over, good vision to locate the open man.
The clock now can just run out for the Spurs.
And you can see he just didn't get squared up with his feet.
The first one falls.
And one thing you can say about Green, I don't know of too many players who are as dependent on their three-point shot as he is. He needs that shot to be falling for him to make an impact.
Here's Connaughton. The three-pointer, no good. And here is Green, taken away. And so it's San Antonio, easily taking this one. To come into an opponent's building and dominate the way they did tonight says, I think, Greg, an awful lot about this team.
I guess they don't need home cooking to feel at home. I mean, Kevin, just a master